So I always start out with this pattern here where we have x plus or minus something, quantity squared. What do we add or subtract? Well, that's this minus 3 in this case. We take half of that. So we subtracted minus 3 halves. And remember, that was a minus 3, not a positive 3. If it were a positive 3, it would have been plus 3 halves. And then we take that 3 halves and we subtract it. We always subtract the square of that value out here. And then we carry over the constant value, in this case, plus 7. And then we have to deal with this coefficient in front of the x squared, 5 in this case. We have to do that in 3 places. We have to multiply by 5, divide by 5, and divide by 5. And that's the procedure. So this is by inspection. And I mean that because you can see this 5 and this minus 3 and this 7. You can see how that 5 and the 3 and the 7, the minus 3 and 7, all show up on the right-hand side just by looking at it. You can just write it down. And here, the second step was to simplify the result. And I will leave it up to you if you want to take that right-hand side, if you want to expand it all out and show that the right-hand side equals the left-hand side. But I'm going to prove that in general right now. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to start off with the general quadratic expression ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to follow that procedure, and then we'll show that the right-hand side equals the left-hand side. So following the procedure, we take x, and in this case, it's going to be plus that b coefficient divided by 2, quantity squared. We're going to subtract that b over 2 squared, the whole thing squared. Bring our value of c over, multiply by a, and divide by a, and divide by a out here in front. Okay. Now let's just expand the right-hand side and show that it equals the left-hand side. So that's equal to a x squared. B over 2a twice is b over a x. B over 2a squared is just b squared over 4a squared. Then let's bring down our minus 1 over a. So we got a b squared over 4a, and bring down our constant c. Distribute the a through, that's ax squared plus bx plus b squared over 4a. Bring down the minus b squared over 4a and bring down our constant c. Okay, we got a positive b squared over 4a and a negative b squared over 4a. And that leaves us with ax squared plus bx plus c, and I guess that's QED.